one of my favorite features with Infogram is the timeline. I like the timeline because it can be used for a variety of different topics. As long as you're trying to show a flow of things or a progression of things, it works really well. And there's a lot of different templates. So here's how I made the timeline that's to the right of this video. Basically, I went to the infographics thing that actually was up here, but I clicked on the infographics little tab, and I saw this one right here, this timeline, and I clicked use. If you click preview, it'll show you what it looks like. I clicked use, and when I did that, I got this. And in fact, let's just click it real quick here, and we'll see. We'll just give it a title, space, and I got this right here. Now, you'll find that, or hopefully you'll find that there are some things that you'll like on a timeline, you'll keep, and some things you won't. So I like the structure. I like these little guys and how everything was kind of organized. So I kept the format, the layout, but then I got rid of and changed a lot of other things. But this timeline gave me ideas for how I could organize and show what it is that I wanted to show. So let me show you what my timeline looks like. Then I'll kind of deconstruct how I put everything together. Basically, I deleted all of this stuff with the exception of these little things right here, which are themselves little individual elements that can be changed and tweaked and everything. If you want to do that, you can change the background, all sorts of things. So here's what mine looks like, Exploring Space. You can tell they're very different, but also fairly similar. So basically what I did is I gathered my information, what it was I was going to show about space, and we were talking about the solar system and understanding what was in our solar system, how far things are, sending satellites, all of those things. So I started with a very small blurb at the bottom, and I added some text. I just went over here, added some H1 text, and moved it over, and then double-clicked it, typed in early history. If I wanted to, I could have just changed the color, whatever I wanted to change it to, but I really didn't want to do that. I like things to be fairly similar, so I got that. I added a little blurb here, and this one, again, was more text, and so I probably grabbed one of these guys. The nice thing about the text is that if you grab any one of these and you don't like the size, even these H1, H2s that are bigger, then all you have to do is just double-click and highlight it, and you can change. This is a 15 now. I can make it as big as I want. So however big you want to make it, just do that. I have it centered here. I could bold it if I wanted to. So again, I could change the color. A lot of different options there. In fact, I kind of like it big like that, so we'll keep it like that. So I did that, and then I found some information that was kind of linear in terms of what happened. So in the 1950s, we started Project Mercury. We also had Sputnik. We were, fighting with the Soviets de facto, trying to figure out who was going to get to space first. So I got all my information, and I made all of these little text boxes. And the things that I wanted the students to really understand, these are actually vocabulary words. So I highlighted the actual individual word, rockets, for example, and then I colored it green. So that way I have all the words that are very important for the students colored one color. That's a really good idea for the kids that have trouble with certain things. Also good for ELLs. A wide variety of kids could use the colorization. It's a really good thing to do, just in general. Now then you notice I added some really cool graphics right here. Where did I find these? Well, over on the left here, you've got your text, your charts, maps, and then I've got elements, and then I've got graphics. So I clicked on graphics, and there's a wide variety of things that you can use. There's some GIFs. So this is like a little rocket ship gift, and so I clicked it. I forget what I typed in, but maybe rocket, I don't know. And we'll see what comes up here. And that's got this little motion right here. It's going to come up in a minute. My computer's running slow. But at any rate, that's how I found these little images here. Here we go. And all sorts of things, some crazier than others. And I wanted just real simple stuff. So, well, it's in there somewhere. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to choose from. So I found the little icons that I wanted, laid them out like I thought would be neat, make this look really good. And then, of course, what my kids have a hard time with, your kids probably do as well, is understanding data, understanding charts. So I went over here to the chart section, and there's a wide variety of line charts, bar charts that go horizontal, bar charts that go vertical. If I pull down here, there we go. I've got pie charts. I've got these little charts right here, all sorts of different charts. You name it, you got a chart for it. So fantastic variety. So I found some data that I thought was good. So this one here, for example, is man-made satellites, like how many man-made satellites actually were launched. And what I did is I found this little horizontal chart and got it. And then I changed the data, and I just, like Excel, I have the years, 57, 58, 59, because this is the 1950s, USSR and USA, and the numbers. And then it just fills it up here, which is wonderful. And so to make the colors like they are, I went to settings and colors, and I can use, these are the colors right here. I could also change the colors on the little spreadsheet deal. I can make the fonts bigger or smaller. I can add tooltips. Tooltips are little things that blink and tell everybody what to do. So that's how I made this chart. For this chart here, it was very similar, though this chart is a stacked chart, so this is a little bit different. I went over here, back to charts, and I found this little guy, probably this one here, and I just adjusted the data. And this data here is USA versus USSR by year, and this is a number of people in space. So I researched that and put these values in here, and this compares our countries, and it's a really good visual. And the colors I chose, I think, would really help the kids understand what was going on. So that's how I got that right there. And then moving up through the 60s, all the way here, and then I found myself a pie chart, and this was the distribution of the different shuttles that flew, and I found data about that. And then this one right here was the amount of time to travel to planets, because my kids have a hard time figuring out how far things are. So this would be in years, 10 years, 12, 8.5, 6, 5. So if you were on a spaceship, this is how long it would take to get there. And then up here, let's see, another type of chart that I used was this little guy here, this little U-shaped chart. And this is the amount of, this is a distribution of oxygen on the planet. We have 21%, Mars has almost none, 0.13. Point is, for these right here, I used a variety of different charts, pretty vivid colors. And when the kids look at this, they have a lot of information. Now, this may be overwhelming for some kids, so one of the things I do for my students that have accommodations, I make a secondary chart. I just eliminate some things, make things bigger. So there may be two. I'll send that to them in Google Classroom separately, so they'll get their own stuff. But by making one highly complicated chart, you can minimize it to make something much, much easier for the students that need that. But this chart probably took me, after research, maybe about an hour to put together. Something that I can tweak for later, I can use for a long, long time. I can also mimic to show different things. Now, I made this chart to teach the students. You could also have students make a chart to showcase something that they research. So this is as much of a learning aid as it is a creation tool as well. So all sorts of really neat things that they can do, and not a whole lot of bells and whistles. I use graphics. This right here, actually, I found a picture of Mars. I didn't really like the graphics that they had, so I just went and uploaded my own picture. And the way I did that, right here under graphics, right here I've got my uploads. So I click on that, and when you upload stuff, the nice thing is it saves it. There's a bunch of things I've uploaded, and somewhere in here, there's my little Mars guy right there. I uploaded that. I uploaded a rover. So I found my own things. I've got some little moon shots that are also on here as well. So I uploaded a variety of things that I like that were better than the graphics, and you can do that too. And it's cool because these are saved. So if I was going to make a secondary thing that was maybe simplified, maybe more complicated, I have all of my graphics all saved right there. So a lot of potential here, not a huge complication, really powerful tool. Hopefully this helps you get your own timeline for your own kids, or helps you create an assignment that your kids can do and really impress you with what they know.